What's going on, guys? Lance Len here, making this video to kind of break down what free skate tricks are. There's a lot of confusion as to what the different tricks are going to be called or should be referred to as amongst skate communities. So this video defines all the flatland flip tricks that kind of meet this scale. There's going to be a few that are that don't really work with this concept, but it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier to talk about free skating. So let me define a couple different points. So we're going to look at the skate. We're going to focus on the back skate right now, and from my perspective. So if I'm riding, there are 4 different ways I can flip the skate that meet this system. So if I'm riding regular, I'm riding forward, there's going to be the kickflip. So that's putting pressure on this side of my skate. There's going to be the toe flip, which flips the skate back. Using my heel, there's the heel flip. And there's a trick that nobody really does, but I want to give it a name because I have a feeling it's going to become a thing, which would be the inward flip. So now we've broken down 4 different rotations of the skate, 2 different styles, 2 directions. So if I'm riding this way, I got my kick flip, got my toe flip, got my heel flip, and then I got my inward, correct? So got the back skate nailed. Now this is my front skate. So everything on my front skate is going to be called Nollie. So similar names for all the tricks. We're going to have Nollie kick flip, which is outward. We're going to have Nollie inward. We're going to have Nollie toe flip and Nollie heel flip. So boom, if I'm riding regular, I'm going my typical stance. I skate regular, but if I'm riding in my typical stance, I have, let's go over it again. We have a kick flip, a toe flip, a heel flip, and an inward. So boom, back skate dialed in, Nollie flip, Nollie inward, Nollie toe, Nollie heel. Sweet. So now this gets a little bit tricky. So in skateboarding and in free skating, when you're riding in your opposite stance, we refer to it as switch, but there's also the term fakie. And so let me explain what fakie is. Fakie is basically doing the trick in your typical stance, but riding backwards. So most people, when riding fakie, they have a couple residents of their original stance. So a lot of times people's shoulders are facing backward in comparison to where they're going. So if I'm regular, I would be riding this way. Anything that I do off my tail would be considered fakie. So that's the difference between fakie and switch. Switch would be doing tricks off of your nose if the board didn't turn. So let's go into the fakie tricks. We have fakie kickflip, fakie inward, fakie toe, and fakie heel. Sweet. So those are all me riding an opposite stance, going this direction, flicking with what is now my front foot. Now switch, opposite stance, riding with my back foot doing the flips. So same trick names. We got switch flip, switch toe, switch heel, and switch inward. So sweet, we got that dialed in. Now there's a lot of free skating that involves 2 skates flipping simultaneously. So that's where we come up with a system. We've already defined what is fakie, what is null, or what is regular, what is nollie, what is switch, and what is fakie. So it's very easy to identify which skate we're referring to in that stance. So if I were to say, so a lot of tricks have additional names. So like there's a trick called a sexy flip, right? So a sexy flip is a sex change, which I want to go over as well. A sex change is a 180 body burial. So if I'm riding, I jump, my body does a 180 and lands back on the skates. Another important thing to talk about is swap skates. So you can just call those swaps. So for a sexy flip, which is a sex change 180, you're going to do a toe flip, and as the skate's rotating, your body moves 180 and stomps on the skates. Now, how would you define a trick where your front skate does a kick flip and the back does a toe flip? It's one of my favorite tricks. You would call it a nollie flip, toe flip. And by saying nollie flip and toe flip, I can identify, okay, it's my front skate that's popping nollie, and that's going to be a kickflip, and it has to be the back one that's doing a toe flip because it's regular. I didn't state it was fakie, switch, or nollie. So it's a really good method for breaking down tricks. So let's do a couple more. A lot of people ask about this trick. It's really beloved. I really need to get around to learning it. But kickflip, nollie flip. So there's been a lot of confusion as the name. You guys can give these tricks additional names, but I want a scientific system where people can look at it and be like, okay, this is what it is. Because in skate culture and naturally when people are learning these tricks, a lot of people give them names. Everybody has their own name for it, and there's some confusion as to what the name should be, and that really provokes a lot of argument. So I'm not coming up with names for these tricks. I'm coming up with a system for how to define tricks. So if you want to do a couple more, we're more than welcome to. So for example, nollie toe flip. So nollie toe, heel. So at front skate, doing the toe flip, back skate, doing the heel. So I think we are starting to grasp it. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment below. I want to make a system for defining more tricks in free skating, but the flip tricks alone is what I've kind of come up with so far. And hopefully I can come up with something a little bit in the future. But if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to comment. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, guys.